A lot. Hi, you all. This is the Sublime Thinkers YouTube channel. And today we are going to talk about how basically all religions, but specifically we're talking about Islam today, specifically. But this application is not just for Muslims, it's for everybody. And I'm going to show you why. Okay. Now, I'm going to share my screen so you can see the book that I'm pulling from. And I've already highlighted some things that I want to pull out because, of course, I'm not going to read all this. And I'm just going to elaborate on it, expand on it so that maybe you can get a better understanding. And if you like the book, you can go get it. Okay. So let me share my screen. Here we go. All right. So let me show you the cover of the book first. This is the cover of the book, The Law of Attraction in Islam, A Guide for Positive Change by Benimad Al-Atiki. Okay? Now, let me take you to the first thing I wanted to pull forward. I know I have highlights up there, but this is the first thing I wanted to pull forward, and that is here. A miracle in the use of language. I love that I want to start with this because in law of attraction, law of assumption teachings, we use affirmations. We speak things. We use language. The tongue, the power of the tongue. And I'm going to come out of here just so I can expand and elaborate on this. Islam tells us, not just tells us, but the tongue is very heavy. What is spoken on the tongue is very heavy. Heavy, heavy, heavy. Okay? It's not to be taken lightly. So the fact that law of attraction, law of assumption uses affirmations is in alignment with Islam, because you should not be speaking things about people, about yourself that you don't want to see manifest. Islam, you enter Islam with the tongue. We're told that the tongue, between the tongue and the private parts, is heaven or hell. You can go to, the tongue can take you to the pits of hell or can lift you to the highest realms of heaven or paradise. Okay. So from that is the law of speak. Stand guard on what you speak on, what you speak about, how you speak to yourself. Right? We've looked at the water experiments where people was, speaking certain things into water. Didn't matter what language they were speaking, the intentions behind what they spoke, the water took on that vibration. It either stayed clear or it became stagnant or it started to rot. Okay. And I can bring all of that later. The point that I'm trying to make here is the tongue is a powerful tool. It's not to be taken lightly. What you say with your tongue, what you speak with your tongue. Okay. So affirmations, I am beautiful. I am love. I am abundant. I am kind. I am joy. Those are powerful. Okay. So first and foremost, the tongue, language, the power of the use of language, the power of the tongue in alignment. Okay. We coming together. All right. Next thing, let's go. Let me share my screen. Next thing I want to point out down here, we're going to go down here right here. Okay. Okay. Whatever situation, this is perspective, right? How law of assumption, law of attraction, it's all about perspective, right? Whatever situation you find your life to be in will not change until you change what is within yourself. Okay. And he goes on to say, this is the ultimate conclusion of several centuries of research into human psyche, social studies, and life in general. Now, this sounded very familiar to me when I realized I already knew this. I'm reading his book. I had read this in the Qur'an. And if you go up here, he'll tell you, like, he'll give you some authors that pulled this, right? But yes, this is in the Qur'an. When Allah says, indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is within them, what is inside, until they change the way they're thinking on the inside. Okay? Your perspective, how you see the world. Not until they go out, change this politician or change that person. Not until they go out and shout in the ethers and, we will, whatever, No, when they change what is inside of them. Until they change what is in them, right? And then in the book, he says, change the way you're thinking on the inside, and the rest of the world will change. Change the way you're thinking on the inside, and the rest of the world will change. This is law of attraction, but there it is right there in this land, right there, lining up. It's lining up, okay? So now I want to come out of the book right quick. Something just came to my mind. I thought it, because we're talking about perspective now. And when you change what is inside of you, when you change what is inside of you, everything on the outside, the whole world around you changes. Now, I thought about a saying I think Wayne Dyer said, where he said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Or either he said when you change the things you look at, he definitely said when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Okay? So if you're finding yourself on negative news channels, if you're finding yourself always hearing some bad going on, somebody doing something scandalous, and you always finding yourself, in these realms, think about what is on the inside. Start changing that, and what is on the outside, the world around you will change. Okay? Next, let's go back in. Let me share my screen. What else did I highlight? It addresses all. Oh yes. Okay. So he when he talked about these laws and them being in the Qur'an and also being expressed in the law of attraction, law of assumption teachings, he also mentioned that when these things are mentioned in the Qur'an, they're not specific to Muslims. He's saying mankind. He's saying people. He's not saying Muslims. Because in the Quran, Allah does address Muslims. When he addressed us exactly, he say, oh, you Muslims. But then he also addressed mankind. He also addressed people. And so what he was saying was, if your aspirations are only in this world, that is fine, because Allah is speaking to you too. But you don't have aspirations for the afterworld or for another world. Everything, all your aspirations are in this world. These laws will still apply to you. These things will still be yours, right? I'm not saying I'm just saying that just because you're not a Muslim, because people say, oh, well, I'm not a Muslim, so I don't have to change what is in me for a lot of. No, he's talking to everyone. He's not just talking to Muslims. These laws apply to everybody. Okay, they're universal laws. This is universal. All right, and I'll just read that passage right here, it says, it addresses all mankind. Good news for non-Muslims and anyone who chooses to limit their goals to this life only. Okay? Take that as you will. Okay? Like I just said, that means these are universal laws. Just because they're found in the Qur'an does not mean they're only for Muslims. Okay? Does not mean they're only, I think you guys get that, so I can get off that point. Let me see if I have some more highlights. I didn't want to make this video too long. Okay, I got highlights at the beginning of the book. There was something else I highlighted up here, so we'll go to that, and then we'll get ready to close off. Okay, I did that, yeah. Okay, so we're going up here, and then I'll just go over what some of the chapters in here are. Here, I highlighted this. Let's see. Whether it's a core belief or rule, a value, a preference. Okay, so let me go above that. By changing any one of these 5 elements, whether it's a core belief, a rule, a value, a preference, a question, or an emotional state, you can immediately produce a powerful and measurable change in your life. Okay? And he references, I think it's being referenced from, referenced from this book by Robbins. What's his name? Tony Robbins, I think, but let me make sure. Okay, so I haven't read all the way through that part, so I'm just going to leave that alone. But yeah, those things still apply. By changing any of these 5 elements, your core beliefs or rules, your values, a preference or a question, or an emotional state, you can immediately produce powerful and measurable changes in your life. Okay, so think about that. What are some running beliefs? Now, this could be a little difficult because a lot of us have beliefs that are running in our subconscious mind that we are not fully aware of, and so it might be hard to change those because you're not fully aware of them, but you may be aware of the effects of those beliefs. Okay, like if you believe that people like you never get good things, or people like you can't be rich, or because you haven't seen anybody else that look like you or that come from where you come from do it, and that belief is running in your head, you may be self-sabotaging. You may be limiting your opportunities because of that, and you're not even realizing why, but you can see the results. So I'll get into that on another video because I really just want to talk about this book. So he's talking about invisible forces. He goes into different things. He talks about self-fulfilling prophecies. Of course, law of attraction, law of assumption includes that. Okay, he talks about the power of suggestion, the body-mind connection. And let me see if I can pull anything. It is a fact that with your thoughts, you can use your mind's ability to control most parts of your body. So he goes, I'm sure that seems kind of self-evident, but that you can use your mind to control most parts of your body seems kind of self-evident, but I'm sure if I read through it, it would be more there. Whether you notice something consciously or not, your mind records it, and your unconscious may eventually be influenced by it. The advertising industry understands this and spends millions of dollars bombarding you with subliminal messages to influence your decision-making processes or your decision-making process. Politicians know and use this as well. All day long, you are being subjected to all kinds of data that affects whether you like that affects you whether you like it or not. Okay, so right away, I pull from this. Advertisers are talking to your subconscious mind. They're giving you subliminal messages. Politicians are giving you subliminal messages. What are you telling yourself? Are you talking to you? Are you giving yourself affirmations? Are you speaking into your giving yourself subliminal messages to influence yourself? Or are you just letting outside influences do what they will, have their way with you? Okay, so that's something we're gonna get into. We're gonna really get into that because that's big stuff. Now, especially now that it's advertisement is on another level. Like, it's not a billboard. They still have billboards and stuff, but that's kind of old fashioned. Now, whenever you turn on the computer, you have ads running on the side, but not only that, you have people like, everyday people who are literally ads. They're walking billboards, they're advertising everything, they're being paid to do this. And it's even more subliminal, even more running underneath your conscious mind because you're not even aware that it is an advertisement. Because to you, it's just, it's just another YouTuber. It's just another TikTok video. It's just another Instagram post. But it's an advertisement with an everyday person in it that's advertising for the company, right? And sometimes you don't really know, right? Now YouTube has made it so that if you have an advertisement, you have to let people know. But what about the people who aren't being paid? Because there's plenty of people who are advertising things, trying to get paid to advertise them, so they advertise. It's like me taking, a certain sticker or something and putting it in the background of this video. I never point to it. I never, speak it, but it's there. It's in the background of my video. The whole time you're watching my video, this sticker is putting a subliminal message in your head. Drink Coca-Cola. Aren't you thirsty? Or whatever, just a suggestion. All right, so that's it. I'm not going to make this video too long. Let me know what you guys think about it, guys, girls. I know some people will get upset sometimes. I had a person get upset because I always say guys, and I don't mean like just guys. I mean all people. So guys and gals, let me know what you think. And of course, like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you in the next one.